any second. But here's the thing, Jan, and what you just brought up, that touches my heart. Thank you. Thank you. Because this is so much bigger than just, some online business deal for
You
me.
keep saying that, so I'm
Right.
like intrigued. Why is it so much bigger? I keep coming back. I've got to find out.
Because of what you just said. And for those who were just tuning in now, right? What Jan just said is that, well, Jan, you can give it in your own words that this has been significant for you.
It has been. I've done online things, never been successful, spent lots of money, but I keep thinking this is my path. So I keep trying. And so being in this group, as I said, I'm trying to find my way through the program, and I'm not sure I'm doing it right yet, but I'm going to find my way. But I missed 2 days and I had to go in and watch the videos to catch up because I felt like I was missing out. I'm really learning from all of you and you, John, and I'm loving this family. I want success, and I believe I need partners to help me get there. And I believe that I can lock arms with y'all and do that.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. And I know Nancy was chiming in as well on that. Nancy, did you want to add something to that?
Just, I feel the same way. I missed yesterday. Like I told them, I was, my granddaughter needed my attention yesterday, and I missed it. And it's like, today I've got to be in here for this meeting because it really is the best start for the day.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Now, of course, for our friends across the pond or on the other side of the planet, it's, totally, it's not their start of the day. For me, it's 10:17 a.m. currently in Arizona, which is where I currently am. Okay. But regardless of time zone, having something like this where we're not doing it alone, something that Jan said,
Yeah.
right, is that she's experiencing the community here and locking arms and that whole thing. Do you know how many people, here's the significance of this, Jan and Nancy and Missy, I see your hand is up. We'll get to you in just a second. But here's the significance of this, to sort of let the cat out of the bag, is that I have counseled with many entrepreneurs who were solopreneurs and who were trying to go it alone. And my goodness, that is a tough path.
Yeah.
I am here to give you an unfair advantage. That's why I'm here, to make a spectacle of yourself in a good way, of course. Okay. No apologies about it, right? No holds barred. We play to win. We don't play to not lose. We're not going to try. Half measures avail us nothing. And look, why is that my mission? Why is that I've committed so much of my life to working with entrepreneurs? I'll tell you why. I grew up broke on the streets of New Jersey and everybody was broke. Everybody, right? I had no examples. I had no mentors. I had no purpose. I had no purpose. And so when I finally found mentors, I finally found people who knew how to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. And, these were people who were making 50 to 100,000 a month, and they were willing to teach and have a little bit of integrity. My goodness, I latched on. I never let go. And I made it my life's purpose to expand prosperity and prosperity consciousness for as many people as I can touch in my time on this planet. That's why I do what I do. Any of us, myself, you, we can go anywhere and make money. You can go get a job. You can go start a franchise. You can go panhandle, right? You make money doing. There's lots of things you could do. You do anything. Why are we on this path? Great question. Do you have an answer for it? There's mine. There's my answer for it. There's why I show up here. And look, you guys know I'm not an e-commerce expert. Maybe you don't know that. So now you can know that. I'm not an e-commerce expert. You're an e-commerce expert, soon to be. Okay. So Jan, while you don't know all the intricacies in your vast experience in the space of 2 weeks, right? So Jan doesn't have all the answers, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? That's shocking.
I know it is. I know.
Right. You haven't arrived? Guess what? Nobody has. Nobody has. We're dealing with a planet that's inhabited by 7.5 billion variables. They're called people, right? You got all the answers? Well, let me read your book then, because maybe you can enlighten me. I don't. I'm not manifesting fish and loaves and levitating outside of your window right now, Jan. right? When you see me there, you'll know that I've arrived or something. But, you know, Missy, please enlighten us.
Sure. Well, I'll just start with this. It wasn't what I was going to say, but when I pray and when I'm practicing living in the end, I picture myself helping others because this is different than anything I've ever done and something has changed. I paid for this course to get an outcome, to get more money. But that now I'm trying to say it a different way every day, but a lot of things come to me in the bathroom. And in the bathroom today, I was just standing there and it was to get an outcome of money, but I know now the outcome will come when the end is set right. That's not the outcome. It just happens. It's when the in is based right. It's the inner based, not the outcome based that is going to make this difference. And I just know it now. And you keep calling this an appetizer. How can an appetizer make that much change in my inner thought process in such a short time? This is different than anything that's ever happened to me.
Well, you know what Lao Tzu said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I don't think it's any mistake that here we are showing up in this space at this time with a common purpose. Again, is that surprising to anyone? We're all coming from different backgrounds, right? You know, Jan knits, or Nancy, or one of you knit, or you knew somebody who knitted. I don't knit, right? I was a diesel mechanic. How many diesel mechanics do we have here? Right. Thank you, Jan. So, and yet here we all are. How does that happen? Right? So purpose, here's what I'll offer you today. And this is kind of heavy duty philosophy, really, but I will argue that purpose transcends your past, race, color, creed, right? All the labels, all the stuff that people put so much undue attention on, things to take people apart rather than putting them together. And you as an individual are required to succeed. You can't have a powerful group without powerful individuals. Individuals are the component parts of any successful group, right? Or unsuccessful group. So if there's one thing we can do here, and here's why the appetizer tray is so profound, Missy, is because if we can just raise the average emotional and physiological and spiritual state of beings in that group, how much more that group could accomplish. Think of any office you've ever been in. Let's say you're in an office environment, and if you've never been in one, just imagine with me for a moment, right? And you've got like productive people. You've got, oh, she's always happy, right? She's you know, her smile is just infectious. And you know, here's the other guy. He's a kind of hard charging guy, you know, and he's very on purpose and getting stuff done. And there's that guy, man, is always a dark cloud, follows him everywhere he goes. Right? And this other one seems to always be breaking stuff. Why is everything always breaking? Right? And causing work for everyone else. Right? And so if you look at the average of that group, right, you've got very high production and high emotion individuals, and you've got low production, low emotion individuals. If you take the average of that group, we could say that would yield, right, the outcome or the outflow that Missy's talking about, that would yield a certain amount of product or production. And I will tell you that can either be an upward spiral or a downward spiral. Production is the basis of morale, right? You want good self-esteem, do esteemable things, produce something, cause something to happen, right? Is one of the most, you know, effective things you can do in your time here as a human being, right? Is solve problems, cause stuff to happen, have an effect. Okay. Now we look at an upward spiral, which we can induce here in this group, where people are having wins, right? Hey, I just made my first sale. I just talked to someone just yesterday. They're in it for a couple of weeks. They had their first sale on Amazon and their first sale on Etsy.
Yay.
I think it was yesterday, right? So, okay. So that's, well, one is infinitely better than zero, right? Is that part of the upward spiral? Of course. That's movement. Fantastic. What's a downward spiral? Facebook. How much time do you think I spend on Facebook? where people are bitching and griping about life and, oh, look at I broke my leg and woe is me. And sympathy, give me sympathy, and there's business groups like that too. Right. Where you got a 1,000 people or so, in like a Facebook group that are supposed to be like, helping each other or whatever. And it's, my goodness, it's toxic. Like I got to kick the dust off my sandals when I leave. Biblical reference there, Missy, biblical reference, right? So which group are you in? And which group would you want to be in? Right. So let's say that you're a newbie and who isn't. Okay. So you're a newbie. Do you want to be in a community that is about expansion, or rhetorical question, obviously, do you want to be in a group that's on the declining group? Well, let's see. How much time do I have? Because I mean, the whole decline thing sounds intriguing anyway. I mean, we watch all these, horror movies and stuff and the drama and, oh my God, right? I mean, that's entertainment, right? So how much time do I have to sit around and be entertained with my fellow victims? You immortal? I'm not talking spiritually. Bodily, are you immortal? You got all the time in the world to go be Nancy or Jan or Missy or Bombadil, right? Avril. Look at all these people here. Look at these awesome people. Mark, right? How much time you got? So what's the purpose of all this? Purpose is to help you expand your prosperity and prosperity consciousness in the time that you have here. That's why I show up. And we're going to do it without, let me say it this way. Success isn't easy, but neither is failure. You're going to pay one price or the other. Failure, you pay that price over and over again. And it sucks. Failure is hard, right? So success isn't easy. Neither is failure. Okay. So we're going to pay the price of success. If you're willing to go on this journey with me, we're going to pay the price of success. It's not going to be comfortable, but my goodness, you will never be the same. Do you think I'm the same guy that was turning a wrench on diesel engines on a tugboat fleet in New York Harbor 30 something years ago? No. Different guy. Actually, physically, what is it? Every 7 years, your cells regenerate, or what? So I'm literally not the same guy. There's not one cell in my body who was a diesel mechanic. I got a garbage truck outside my window right now. If you're wondering what that sound is, I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe the noise canceling is working, but they're always very enthusiastic about picking up the garbage. So, it's machinery, right? I remember back in the days where I grew up in New Jersey, as you know, and the garbage trucks would drive around and there were two guys hanging off the back, right? And you got the metal garbage can and they take the lid and they throw the lid and they throw the can and then the arm would come down when it gets too full and it would compact, right? The garbage, and they would jump back on the back of the truck and hold on as the driver drives. Now it's all machinery. Right. So I don't know if that's unique to Arizona or something. You guys have machinery? Yeah.
Not here. Nope.
Okay. Well, you got garbage men hanging off the back of the truck?
Throwing the lids. Still throwing
Wow. Wow. Talk about the old days. There you go.
The arm
All right.
comes down, picks up the can, and then they shake
Right.
on the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah. There's it's like a side loader. So it's got the main trough, right? And then there's this mechanical arm that apparently maybe it has a camera somewhere in there. So they line it up directly with the big plastic bin. They're not metal anymore. And it's got a hinged lid, right? And so the arm comes out, grabs it, picks it up, dumps it, and then puts it back down. And that's it. One guy driving the truck does the whole neighborhood. So,
Unless you're in Telluride, Colorado, where you have the ones that have the bear locks, and then they have to get out and open the lid. Because the bear locks make it to where the lid doesn't just automatically open.
Right. That's exactly right. So maybe there's a coffee cup idea in there somewhere with the bears. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the bears all of a sudden. All right. We have a topic today, courtesy of Judith. Is Judith here with us? Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is. Of course she is. Of course Judith is here. Thank you, Judith, for reaching out to me, which, by the way, you all are welcome to do. In fact, after the semi-conversation that we just had, I would love your feedback on like, what are you getting out of these daily success calls or power up or whatever we're calling this? John L at knowledgesource.com.au. You guys have my my email address. There it is, as it relates to this operation. So John L at Knowledge Source, that's JOHN. So I do have the useless H in there. But John L at knowledgesource.com.au. Please send me your feedback or your ideas. If you've got something you want to take up a topic, that's what we're here to do. Okay. So, and I'll paraphrase here, but one of the considerations that our friend Judith had was on the topic of overwhelm, which I don't think any of you signed up for, right? Was that why you signed up, to be overwhelmed? Right. And Judith, you can come out here. Feel free to unmute your microphone if you want to.
I did. Thank you. I just have my dogs running around and barking. So
Oh, can I see?
Well, I can show you. Hold on one sec.
Please. We've got
Okay,
dog
hold on.
lovers here. Dog
Okay.
lovers galore.
Okay, so there's one, and there's my other little monkey monster
Aw.
dog over there. There he goes. There he goes. See him?
I see the one, and
Let's
oh,
see if
yeah,
you
I
can-
see him. I see the little black one there. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm staying a little low key on my video because at any moment he's going to start acting like a little monkey. So,
Okay.
but I am unmuted. Thank you, John.
Good. Did you want to like offer like what's the premise of what we're about to talk about?
Okay, well, I can. I would actually, I'd be very happy to. I'm absolutely doing the work, loving it. Very excited about it. I've set up all my gear bubble. I've set up my Etsy. I haven't ventured into setting up the Amazon yet because I know that's going to be a little bit more complex. I've got plenty of great ideas, but every module, and I love the modules, but every time the modules come in, there is, before you get to the transcript, as you're reading through, there's all the little links. And for me, being the analytical person that I am, I start clicking on the links. And then all of a sudden I've got like, I've got my Safari open, I've got my, Google Chrome open, and I've got, 50 or 60 tabs open. So I'm getting kind of lost. I've overwhelmed my brain to the point of exhaustion. Like, am I doing this right? Because there's so many different variables and just making it happen that maybe I'm overthinking it. And to me, like the rabbit hole syndrome is you go one place, it takes you to another and to another and to another. And then you got to go back and, verify your subscription or whatever. So I'm getting lost in the process, John, and maybe you and the beautiful panel that we have here of people can kind of help me through that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you. Right. Because it's pretty huge.
I feel the same way. Exactly.
I'm sorry. What?
I feel the same way exactly.
Okay. So here's what I do know is that the confused mind does nothing. So that's not the goal of all this training. And Judith, when you and I met in person for the first time 10 days ago on your welcome session, I gave you 3 tips to avoid overwhelm and confusion. Do you recall any of them?
Just, don't overthink it and just start with the process and make it happen. And John, I do forget the third one, and I do apologize.
Okay, we're going to cover them right now for everyone's benefit, including my own, because I need to remember this stuff. I need reminders all the time. I haven't arrived. Okay, so and you know what? Before we do that, we're gonna hear from David and Jan, who have their hands up. So David, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that as it occurred to me that as I post my first coffee mug and assuming I'm fortunate enough to gain a sale, one of the first things that's going to have to happen is someone's going to need to know where to put the money. So it seemed logical to me that one of the first things I need to set up was the business account. So I took advantage of Rachel's LLC connection and had them start working on that, because it seems like that's kind of a foundation. I mean, as soon as I post something and when somebody buys it, they got to know where to put the money. So I didn't see anything instructions on that, but it just seemed like a logical thing to do. So I jumped on that.
So David has relieved himself of some operational necessities that is not in his wheelhouse, and nor is he interested in getting good at that. So we can go ahead and outsource that. Right? Fantastic. That's what I just heard from David.
Yeah, for me, I already have all of my LLCs. I have, I'm a business person. I've got everything. I've got my third-party agent. I've got my business address. I've got my business phone. Trust me, I have a Shopify. I have got all those foundations and bases covered. That's not where I'm having my break.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say
very good. That was
breakdown.
just one example. That was,
Right,
that was
okay, thank you,
David's.
thank you.
Right. okay,
Gotcha.
Very good. Jan and Cecilia. Jan, please.
I was doing the same thing, and I'm woefully behind many of you apparently. So I don't have my bank account, and I'm trying to change my LLC's name. So I've got to email into the state. But what I chose to do was not look at the transcript down below, to do all the videos through and then go back, because I was doing the same thing. I can go down that rabbit hole and get lost. And so I have to find where I'm not overloading myself so that I can proceed. And I'm moving slow as it is. So, but that's what I did. I stopped reading the I go through it, but I don't click on anything, and I go to my next video. And so that might be helpful.
Okay, very good. Cecilia, you had a thought?
Hi, everybody. My thing is that, yeah, I was getting lost in the mix too. It's kind of like I said, there were like kind of like a little too many links, so that you kind of like sometimes go in a circle and you're like, wait a minute, I was here, but then, okay, there's a different part of that. It's just kind of maybe confusing, but what I think, and this is what I'm going to do. So I just want to put it out there, because I have done this before where when I wanted to like keep something important, I would go to do like a Word, like a blank piece of paper, and then you just copy that link and you paste it on the page and you put what that link is to. So now you have a list of like, okay, this is what I want to do. Then I want to do this. And, maybe we want to, like, one person wants to do Amazon first before they do anything, or one person wants to do Etsy or whatever. So at least, like, to keep it straight in your mind, like, okay, these are the steps that I'm going to take, because these are the things that I'm interested in, what's important to me. So these are the things that I want to do. So then, like, you have like maybe even the tax accountant's phone number, whatever, like you set everything up, and I think maybe that will help us keep track of, like, and we already know, okay, in this file, this is all the things that I want to do first. And then, like, if you're writing down on, we have these meetings, you write down, okay, oh, that person brought this up, let me check into that. And then, you just add that on like a to-do list, but you have the links right there. So all you got to do is, like, you don't have to go back to anything. You just go back, click that link from that sheet that you wrote the stuff on your Word file or notebook or whatever it is that you have system. And then I think that might be an easier way to go. So, and I have my appointment today with Ethan at Prime. So, and I got my website from Shopify, and I'm still building it, and also, I don't know why, but I got confused about the domain names thing. So I'm thinking, okay, I needed to get a domain name or something, because Shopify doesn't provide that. I don't know I'm confused about it. But anyway,
Okay.
I even got a GoDaddy one. So I'm just kind of like seeing, okay, which website do I like the most or whatever, which service do I like the most. But I have to say that Shopify have a lot of great videos. So if you're going to go that route, and, you could pick up a lot of tips and tricks anyway, even, for like the other stores, there's a lot of tips and tricks out there to help you along,
Very
Okay.
good. Thank you. And we have Cynthia and DL with their hands up now as well. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I just
Hey.
wanted to say, Cecilia, you kind of broke down what I was going to say. I'm reminded from, I've done several businesses, some good and some successful and some not so much, but I'm not a puppy anymore either. However, the concept comes to me again, and that is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And it's easy to get overwhelmed. I've been there more than once in the past, and I know, like someone else here earlier said, I've done these kind of things more than once, and this is an excellent program because it really takes us step by step, but this is part of it. And that's keeping us on task and not getting overwhelmed, because what I found in my successes is momentum builds. It's just overwhelming in the beginning because there's just so much out there in front of us right now when we're just starting up. But as we take these steps, eat the elephant one step at a time, pretty soon we start to see that we're making progress and the momentum builds. So I just want to encourage all of us. And Cecilia, I love your idea with the word page there, because the cut and paste with the links, because that's an easy thing to do as you're reading text through on these, pages for the training. So thank you, Cecilia, for that. And thank you everyone for sharing. I appreciate your encouragement, John, and everybody else too. I think that's one of the greatest things about this daily success. And this is only my second day.
Wow.
Mhm. Wow. Welcome. Glad you're here. DL, you've got the floor, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. John. A lot of information going on. It sounds really great. Like one of the things that, again, Cecilia had mentioned a couple of days ago, I did it from the first day I started, was open up that email section, a separate folder, and I just threw all the stuff from LHS in there. So that organization plan is really good. Also, what I've done is I've set up my Etsy stores. I've set up the Shopify. I've set up all those stores now. Now I'm trying to, and I've just gotten past the integration with GearBubble. So, but again, with all the information hit you feel like, okay, you're all over the place. So what I started doing is I've gone back into the clinic with Adam. And one of the things that, John, you spoke about in the acceleration program with Rachel was repetition. So I went back into the clinic, and starting from October is Adam's first video. You can start going through those, and there's a little button on the side. It looks like a turn dial. You can turn what I do is I put the speed on high, and he's going fast, and I'm listening because it's like an hour long, but now it's stuff I'm rehearing. But I found I'm picking up things that I missed the first time, little nuggets. Like I didn't know about the mugs, there's something he talked about in one of the videos about the mugs. If you do something before a certain time, you'll lose the promotion, the bonus on the mugs, some little things. So if you go back in there, you hear some little nuggets again, and it'll hit you. Oh, okay, that makes sense this time. So yeah, go back to the clinic. It's in the LHS website. It has a microphone, a picture of a microphone. You click on it. All the videos that Adam has been doing since October till now are in there, and he goes through, and you can pause it, you can rewind it and listen to it. He puts up a sheet, he breaks down little points, so it's very good. And also use the Facebook. Also, when you go if you're part of the Facebook club, go into the search menu in the LHS page, type in your question, and you'll find questions because your question has already been asked by umpteen people. There's actually answers in there that can help you also speed up some of the process. So I hope that helps somebody.
That does. Thank you, DL. And we're seeing in the chat, thank you to all the speakers. Yes, the sharing has been helpful. I want to address a logistical question real quick from Emma Barty. So you set up your Amazon sellers account where you live, but you're definitely going to sell into the US. You got to sell into the US. All right. So there's a quick answer for you on that. But now we're more into logistics. But here's the thing, my friends. Can you believe we've been talking a half hour already? How did that happen? It's all your fault. Somebody, Jan's fault. But so Judith brought up a great point. And so what I want to do is review with you how you can master any topic that you're interested in. Okay, that topic could be how to make money doing e-commerce, right? That's a nice topic. Great, let's take it up. And this is something that that I have to remember myself when I'm engaging in anything new, because I too can get a bit, sideways on stuff. The first thing, I guess, underlying all of this is the purpose of it, right? So Henry Ford said, obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. All right. So if we're seeing barriers, we're seeing obstacles, we got to get recentered. We got to remember, why are we showing up and doing this in the first place? Oh, for that result, for that product, for that, conclusion, right? Like Missy likes to talk about thinking from the end, right? So that's the end. That is the guaranteed future outcome. Now, based on that, I shall now learn these skills that I need to do in order to have that thing that I intend to have. So there's the philosophical underpinning of all of it. But now we engage in new data. Here's what always happens whenever we engage in new data is that we've got confusion that about the data, right? Because we don't know, we are ignorant, we just don't know, okay? And now we are putting in new data into our mind and causing, let's say we're stirring the pot. We're stirring the pot. And if we've been, some people subscribe to the idea of left brain, right brain, creative versus, constructive, right? Analytical versus, more spontaneous, right? So if we've kind of leaned one way or another, then we may have to, get some balance there with that and create some order, because all success is orderly. Think of it. Anything you've ever succeeded at ever in your life, you started, you did whatever was to be done, you changed this, you moved that, and then you stopped. And that's called done. Done. My favorite 4-letter word, done, right? So if you look at any successful cycle that you've engaged in your life, you completed what you started in an orderly fashion. So if we look at all success in all the world, right, it's orderly movement. And now we've got disorder in our mind. So there's no way we're going to have orderly movement outwardly if we're internally turbulent. So how do we create the order? Great question. Thanks for asking. There's 3 things, and this is stuff that has become popular with people who are like schooling their kids, and they've maybe been lagging behind in their studies, or they're confused or whatever. Straightens them right out. Okay, there's whole courses on this stuff, and I've been through them. In fact, my wife was an educator at one point. Well, I guess we're all still educators, right? So 3 things, and I'm going to give you a super abbreviated version of this. There's much more to study in the area of how to study, right? So this is about how to learn any topic. The first thing that you've got to understand is that if the mind cannot use the data, it actually shuts down. Like people fall asleep while they're reading a book. Have you ever done that? Right? So we're falling asleep, right? And next thing you know, you wake up and you don't even remember what page you're on. What did I read? Did you even comprehend what you read? What happened? What happened? When we experience that phenomenon of suddenly you're tired during your studies, right? You're going past words you don't understand. This is so predictable. I'll give you an example here, and this may not put you to sleep, okay? But does anyone here have a hamster? Because hamsters they're different than other kinds of animals. We saw some dogs here today. I love dogs. My daughter's got a hamster, but if you're taking care of a hamster, you got to understand they're crepuscular, and as crepuscular animals, don't look it up, okay? And as crepuscular animals, they're going to have a different pattern, right? Than like the dog, for example. Okay. What? Crepuscular? Does anyone know what that word means? No. Anybody want to take a guess without looking it up?
It's a night creature?
Almost. The crepuscule means the twilight. Okay. So between day and night. So dusk, right? The crepuscule. So they're crepuscular animals. They come out and they hunt for food and get nuts and berries and whatever. Okay. During that's their natural time to do that. Now, had you just read that and you didn't have us having a conversation, and if we didn't have Missy, who apparently has quite a vocabulary, because how often do you use that word, right? In your current business, in your life, right? Crepuscular. Okay, great. But had you just gone past that, there is no way that you could use that data. You would be, in fact, less interested in continuing your studies on hamsters in this case, right? Or learning how to properly care for a hamster if you didn't understand what the author, what the authority, the teacher was attempting to instruct you on, okay? Now, I will say that sadly, vocabulary has diminished of late, I'd say the last 70 years. In fact, you can read books that were written 100 years ago, and the English was much better back then, right? So there's been a dumbing down that's been going on. And we can have a whole conversation about that if you like. But the your ability to use the data is based on getting full conceptual understanding on the data. If you're going down a rabbit hole, and next thing you know, Judith has 50 tabs open on her website, on her browser, right? And you're not the only one, Judith. Okay. My wife does this all the time too. And she knows this stuff. Okay. And then she wonders why her computer's bogging down. You see that? Even the computer's brain is bogging down because of too much at once. So multitasking, here's the thing, and we're going to run late today. We already are running late, but this is important stuff. Multitasking is a myth. Multitasking, or the word multitasking, what it really means is just changing your focus a lot, because you can only focus on one target at a time, right? So I'm going to start but not finish. Now I'm going to start and not finish. Now I'm going to start and not finish. What do we say that the whole anatomy of success is completing what you start? Okay, well, what are you finishing? Nothing. You lose. All right. So start, do whatever you're going to do, and then stop. And once you've got full conceptual understanding, you understand the words, the nomenclature, crepuscular, or anything else that you may have just assumed the meaning of and just gone past because you want to go fast or something. No. Okay, this is the way you master any topic. When I started learning how to be a diesel mechanic, right? There were words that I didn't know, and the instructor was there, and we got full conceptual understanding on every single word. All right, so that's the first tip. All right, make sure you understand the words, and if you don't feel so bright, go back in your studies and see what word are you assuming the meaning of. I'm not sure, right? Go back, get a dictionary, Google it, do whatever you got to do to make sure you understand what the trainer is talking about. Missy, I'm going to mute your mic. Second thing that I briefly tell everyone to do is commingle theory with practical application. All right. So let's say, because you're taking in a lot of new stuff, right? We already determined that these are words and ideas and practices that you've never done before. And so this is all theory for you right now. It's not quite real yet. You've got Rachel, or whoever the trainer is, Adam, or the author of the book you're reading, right, telling you these words, which seem to make sense in theory, and yet you've not personally experienced it. You do not have experiential knowledge of that. Imagine I was telling you about this communication device, and it's called a phone. Now, you've never seen a phone, okay? But you know what, Missy, phones are awesome, because what we could do with phones is we can communicate via the air to people like on the other side of the planet. And so when you have a phone, it's got buttons. And if you press a certain combination of buttons, you get to talk to the person, hopefully the person you were trying to call, right? There's even, other features that you can use on a phone. Some phones can even show you like a map of where you're at and everything else. And you've never seen one of these things. You've never had one in your hand, right? Okay, end of lesson, Missy, end of lesson. And then a couple of days later, I hand you one of these. And you say, what the hell is that? I said, well, it's a phone. Really? You said there was buttons. Where's the buttons? Right? So we're not connecting theory with practical application. When, again, I'll go back to something very objective that we can look at and we can touch, right? Here I am, little Johnny, learn how to be a mechanic, right? And gentlemen, this is called steel. Right? Pass it around the room and bang on it. Taste it if you want to, right? Get familiar with steel, right? This is called aluminum. It's different than steel, right? So we got oriented, right? We touched the stuff. And when we do that, now the technology, all these confusing things that now at least we understand the theory because we understand the words, right? But now we touch the machinery, it starts to become transparent. Right? Now I can work with nuts and bolts, which are also made of steel, but I'm not sitting there fixating my attention on, oh, this is steel, right? Because I've gone past, the basics now, and I've become competent. And if you want to go fast, like DL was talking about, going over material multiple times and doing so quickly, that's an interesting strategy. It's a good one too, because you can, if it's recorded, you can do it again and again. It's not like you're going to say, oh, hold on, Mr. Speaker, please repeat what you said live on stage. No, it just play it 100 times if you want. Go over it again and again. I've read certain books over 10 times, cover to cover. okay? Because I get to apply a bit more each time. But this is the idea, is that we're actually going to apply what we're learning. We're going to commingle theory with practical application. And this is going to allow us to become competent. And if you want to go fast, you must be competent. Think of you driving your car, right? And you're hopefully, well, I think probably everyone here drives a car, right? Or you at least know how to, or you have. When you were first starting out, though, you didn't. I mean, you had to look at the pedals and touch the steering wheel, and there was a whole lot of fixation of your attention on the minutia of it all. Now, when you drive a car, you could drive a lot faster because you're extroverted. You've got your attention off of the machine, which has now become transparent. That's like a part of your body, and you can be on purpose, and you can get to destinations much faster than you were when you were just sitting there fiddling with buttons. All right. Same with Zoom. We got people who are new to Zoom fiddling with buttons. I don't even see Zoom anymore. I see Jan, I see Cecilia, I see Missy. Okay. And all of you. So that's the second thing. Commingle theory with practical application. Inflow the ideas, outflow the work. Right. And now you don't need the theory anymore because now you own it. You're competent. Competence and speed go together. The third and final tip I'll give you guys today is, let me check my clock here. I am double and triple booked, guys. It is total explosion around here, total mayhem. And I'd rather be busy than bored. So that's a good thing. But here's the third idea. And that is to do things on a proper gradient. Several of you brought this up when you were giving your tips, right? So you think of it like climbing a mountain. I know it's tasty up there at the summit, right? We got the hors d'oeuvre tray, we got the Lamborghinis, we got the yachts, right? It's all very nice. Money, fame, fortune, hooray for the top of the mountain. And you'll get there. But you're not going to get there by putting on your cape and mask and leaping tall buildings in a single bound, right? Although I think Nancy would look awesome in a cape and mask. Okay. But you're going to do it by one foot in front of the other. Who was talking about eating elephants, right? It's kind of a gross example, but okay, do what you will. But there's, step by step, climbing the mountain, step by step. Consistency beats cramming. Now, I don't have 50,000 tabs open on my browser. Now I've mastered the basics, and now I can, I know what steel is. I can start using nuts and bolts. My goodness, now I can throw a pile of parts on the ground. I'll build you a working machine, right? But I did that on a gradient. Day one of class wasn't, here's a pile of parts, go build me an engine. That was not day one. So all of this stuff happens on a gradient, just like climbing any mountain. And again, we're tempted to cram. But what is it like? Anyone here who went to university and who had to cram for an exam? Was that fun? Right? Trying to wear your cape and mask and to what end? What, you get to have a gold star on your lapel or something? What? Right? Is any of that stuff even making you money now? So we're coming all the way back full circle to the underlying philosophy of all of this is the purpose. Because you won't do any of this. You'll quit if you're not solid in your why. When you have the why, the how-to virtually takes care of itself. Without the why, the how-to doesn't really matter. And that's why I'm here. All right, back to what we originally started our impromptu conversation here with today, right? Here's the internet, which exists for anybody, okay? Make money, lose money, I don't know. Hundreds of thousands of people trying to do internet stuff right now. I'm interested in you. I'm interested in who's doing it and that you actually can do it, right? Because the proof of concept is there. The low-hanging system, the course material, that's not on trial, right? The only thing that's missing is you. And so I'm here to work with you, all of you, as entrepreneurs. And if we could just avoid some of these pitfalls, and look, I know that if you've been out of balance in one way or another, this is like, it's like starting a new habit. It is not like it is. It is literally creating a new habit of study, a new operating strategy, if you will. You know what? I'm going to be consistent. I know I've tended to surge in life. I'm on, I'm off, I'm on, I'm off. Roller coaster. Roller coasters are fun at the amusement park, not fun in business. Okay. So I'm going to get consistent. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take one lesson today. I'm going to apply it to the best of my ability. And I'm going to go through that lesson again, maybe at double speed, maybe at half speed, maybe at normal speed. I don't care. But I'm going to go through it again and I'm going to get more. I'm going to apply more. I'm going to become competent in this area. And above all, I'm going to make sure I understand what the hell they're talking about, because this is like a whole new language. I don't speak this stuff, right? Just like if I showed up in your world right now in your profession, right? Or if you showed up in the diesel mechanic shop, it's a whole different language. By the way, that was a long time ago for me, so I probably don't know a damn thing anymore about diesel engines. But yeah, David said you had to teach a math class. Okay, cool. Well, David, we're almost wrapped up here. Anyway, it's with great respect that I offer you guys these ideas. This is transformational, truly, but it's transformational because we've got a reason for it to be transformational. We pretty much get what we expect. And if you have habitually expected struggle, confusion, like that's normal for you, that's your comfort zone, even though it sucks, it's still, kind of familiar. We got to break that mold. Okay. And do it by applying these 3 ideas I just gave you. Understand the words, use a dictionary. My goodness, do what you got to do. Commingle theory with practical application and go at a proper, consistent gradient. Why do you think we have this accelerator process? For those of you going through the accelerator, our new members, which is pretty much everyone here. I know we've got some other seasoned veterans that are now tuning in as well. So welcome, you guys. Glad you're here, because word's getting out that we're doing this thing with this wacky Italian guy every day at 1:15 p.m. You got to hear this guy talk. Oh my goodness, grab your popcorn. But but if you're going through the accelerator process, which is something we put in place, why do we put that in place? To get you properly oriented, right? To learn your way around, to see what goes on behind the scenes. We don't like mysteries. We want you not ignorant. We want you enlightened, right? Seeing what it looks like at the top of the mountain, getting a taste and doing that consistently, little bite-sized chunks. How long are accelerator videos? 6 minutes? My goodness, right? But what else do you get to do? This is strategic. What else do you get to do? You just sit there like a vegetable and watch the video and that's it? Go about with your life? No. Remember I talked about commingling, inflow and outflow. Oh, you watched the video? Now tell us what you think. I want to hear from you. This is actually therapeutic, right? Think about it. You're sitting in class and you're being talked at. Take it, right? More. Consume. When do you produce? That's another pattern that we got to break. Most people spend their time. Do you think most people on the internet are consumers or producers? Clearly consumers, right? And you're going to be selling to them. That's fine. But that better mean that you're a producer. There's a time to be a consumer, but there's time to be a producer. And most people are way out of balance with that. Consume. 7 hours of Netflix per day. How do they get anything done? Well, they don't, right? That's the punchline. They don't. Okay. But you as the producer, you got to learn to balance those flows, inflow, outflow. Okay. And I'll leave you with one other thing and then we're going to wrap up. You're welcome, Judith. You're awesome. I love you. You're awesome. One more thing. Okay. And this is the instant cure all for the subjectivity and overwhelm of life. And it's so simple. And in fact, I told it to you the first day we virtually met on the welcome video that you saw of me, assuming that you did see such a video. And that is to break up subjectivity with objectivity. So here we are on the computer doing the interwebs thing. And there's a lot of significances and thinking and decision making and virtual stuff, right? Stuff that you can't touch. All right. What we've got to do, and I suggested that you go exercise. This is right out of, by the way, one of the first books I recommended to you, Miracle Morning. That's one of the things in his Savers Plan. You guys reading that book? I hope you are. Okay. Because how you start your day is how you live your day. But one of the things, SAVE, E for exercise, what is that? That is an objective action, not subjective, not you thinking, objective, objects, stuff, right? Me, caveman, touch rock, right? I mean, that is, go touch the rock, go walk down the street. You're getting all frazzled, get out. Oh, we did this in the diesel mechanic world. I can't fix this freaking machine. It just won't run. Right? Get out of here. Right? See you in 15 minutes. We come back, nail it first time. Right? What's the difference there? We took a break from the subjectivity and the significance of it all. I'm looking at leaves on trees and bumpers on cars and stop signs and blades of grass. And it doesn't warrant my evaluation. I mean, I suppose I could have an opinion about it, but it just is. It just is. How confusing is that? It's not confusing at all. it's kind of an argument for going Amish. I don't know. I mean, these people smile a lot, right? Yeah, bring the firewood, right? Carry that bucket of water, ride your friggin' bicycle. Yeah, okay, sign me up. I'm tempted. Obviously I haven't done it yet, but I'm tempted. What do you think, Missy? John the Amish guy. I'll have to change my name. I'm done talking, believe it or not. What time is it? It's 11:05. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the praise in the chat. Denise asked, what's the name of the book? Oh, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. Hal Elrod, Denise. Oh, I know you, Denise. I just talked to you last night, Denise. That's Denise, everybody. She's awesome. Yeah, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. And there's 4 other books that I recommend as well. But yeah, definitely start with that and whatever else you're reading right now. So I like to recommend that you read a couple of books contemporaneously. There's another big word. So that means right around the same time. So not simultaneously, which would be impossible. How do you read 2 books simultaneously? But contemporaneously, around the same time. They're contemporaries in this contemporary time period. So that's what that word means, right? Again, look up the words. And so this way you can rattle around ideas in your own mind from 2 different sources, 2 different authors, 2 different perspectives, and see what's workable right now in your life. Again, all of this stuff is for use. If you're not using it, you're wasting your time. So commingle theory with practical application. Anyway, that's a little trick. Read a couple of books. Hey, I got 2 books on my desk right now. Talk about practice what you preach. There's 2. So my mouth runneth over. Thoughts, questions before we wrap up for today? Or did I put you all to sleep? I love you too. All right, guys, then we'll go ahead and wrap up with that. You want to do this tomorrow? Yeah? All right. So Jan says, yeah, we're going to do this again tomorrow. Let's do that then. You guys have an awesome day. You totally deserve it. I'll see you again real soon.